What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today I have a PU match against ABNOthing, and if you're not familiar with what PU is, it's basically consists of the Pokemon that are not used enough to make it into the never used tier. So essentially Pokemon that are very outclassed by other Pokemon, and it makes for a pretty interesting tier, some pretty fun matches. And anyways, let's just go ahead and hop in this. I built a pretty random team because I don't play this tier quite often, but I decided to throw some stuff together to see what happens. So I decided to lead off with my Piloswine just because I would like to get Stealth Rocks up, but I see he leads on with a Pancake Fish, so I just throw an Earthquake at it the first turn just to get some damage, and it does over half, so I'm like, hell yeah, Piloswine, you can't see anything behind your freaking weird hair, but you can land an Earthquake on a dumb fish, so that's cool. He gets his own Stealth Rocks up as he is now going to switch into this weird mushroom head thing, as I'm just going to go ahead and throw my own Stealth Rocks out there. So we both got our rocks up. Now, I don't really know what this thing really wants to do. It can start setting up nasty plots, which could be pretty scary, and just overall, I don't know. But I decided to switch into Creeper, as I know that I could take some special attacks from this thing because I'm pretty damn bulky, and Dusknoir is freaking PU. Like, who the hell put this thing in here? I mean, it's not that useful, but it's still, I don't know, it's pretty badass Pokemon. But he hits me with a hidden power, he gets a critical hit, and I noticed that it's neutral, so I'm not sure what hidden power that is yet. And, yeah, so I'm at about half here as he's going to switch out because he does not want to get hit by some Ghost-type moves as he switches into the Wigglytuff as I predict a switch, and I go for a Will-O-Wisp just because I would like to burn kind of whatever wants to come in. So I'm expecting this to be probably one of them Wish, Protect, kind of supportive Wigglytuffs, but can't be really too sure. Either way, it's burned, so it's not going to be able to hit too hard with physical attacks, and that's pretty cool. That's kind of what Creeper does. He ruins your day and burns you and pain splits, and he's just a fun guy. Look at his face on his back. Overall, I love this Pokemon. But I never get to use Dusknoir often, but I'm going to start playing PU more because there's so much fun stuff you can do in this tier. But he goes for a Toxic, ends up missing. I just actually stayed in, went for the Earthquake just to kind of scout out what he was going to want to do. I see the Toxic. I dodged a freaking bullet there. I'm really glad that Toxic missed. Dusknoir being Toxic would not be good because I need this thing to stay at pretty decent health, and being whittled down from Toxic would kind of ruin this thing's purpose. But yeah, so the Wigglytuff is looking fabulous over here, nice and shiny. He's got about half health as I decided to now preserve my Dusknoir for later because I know he does have some Pokemon that I would like to burn later, and I want to like remain healthy. So I now decided to switch into Joint. I figure if there's anybody who wants to take a Toxic, it's probably this guy because he's going to benefit from the guts. I'm not going to get my ordinary Flame Orb burn, but it's alright. Joint doesn't need to be burned today. Now I'm freaking poisoned. So it does the same thing anyways. It's just nice to have somebody on my team who doesn't really care about being poisoned. I mean, it benefits him, and honestly, a lot of people run Toxic Orb. I decided to run Flame Orb most of the time because it does less damage if you stay in longer, but not to mention it also works with a nickname better. But anyways, I finished the Wigglytuff off with a Facade, and good old Joint's out here. He's been in the PC box for freaking ever, stretching out right now. He's stoked to be on the battlefield, but now he decides to bring out the Shady Penguin. He takes half from the Stealth Rocks, and I know he's going to probably want to hit me with an Ice Shard, so I just decided to stay in. I know I can take that as I'm just going to go for a U-turn, and I can conserve my Eradicate for later. The U-turn actually doesn't end up killing the Delibird. I didn't expect it to, really, but it got pretty damn close there. But anyways, now I'm going to go ahead and switch into Boat because I know I can take any attack that this Delibird wants to throw at me, and this is actually an Assault Vested Lapras. Looking in this team, Lapras doesn't seem too useful in this battle, really, so as you'll see, I kind of decided to sack him off early, but I go for the Ice Beam. He is going to die to this, as he went for the Rapid Spin the turn prior, so he got rid of the Stealth Rocks, which is good for him. He's not going to be taking hazard damage, and that's all cool and stuff. So now he brings in the Behemoth again, as he is going to take an Ice Beam here. I kind of want to scout out what he's going to want to do, so I just stayed in, went for the Ice Beam, and I noticed that does absolutely no damage. It makes me believe that this thing might be Assault Vested or something along the lines of that, as his Psyshock doesn't do a whole lot, and that probably means that he is Assault Vested, which is pretty interesting. You don't think of these guys being like bulky, but this thing is taking attacks right now. I know they can also run Recover to get that health back, so I don't know, this thing could be kind of scary. I just stayed in, kept Lapras attacking it just because I want to whittle it down to as much as I possibly could. So now I bring out Pinhead. I'm going to get the Intimidate, doesn't really matter, as I actually expect him to switch out here fearing the Bug Buzz, so I go for the Baton Pass hoping that he was going to switch into something, but he actually does not, so I just Baton Passed for no freaking reason, and I just decided to go into Piloswine, as I know I can take a Psyshock, or pretty much any attack pretty nicely from this thing. So That was kind of a fail by Masquerade there. He came in, took like half health from the Stealth Rock's damage, and that kind of sucks. But I'm going to throw some icicles at this bitch just because I want to see how much this is going to do. Some physical attacks maybe, and I only hit twice. So that's kind of a bummer. It does a little bit of damage, but now he's going to hit me with a hidden power, and I'm like, oh shit, it's probably like grass or something like that. But it doesn't do a lot, as Piloswine is a fucking monster with an Eviolite. This thing, who needs a Mamoswine? Piloswine is a fucking beast. But I throw another icicle sphere at it, as it's going to end up hitting it 3 times, and that is a dead behemoth. So that's pretty cool. Looking pretty solid over here, as he is now going to switch into his Weedion the Leafeon, as this thing is really scary to my team. I don't have a whole lot that can touch it, considering I already lost my Lapras. I would like to hit that thing with some Ice Beams, but I go for the Ice Shard just to get some damage off before I die, and he hits me with a Leaf Blade. Plot twist, I fucking live it with 5 HP. I would not have expected to live that, honestly. I would have hit it with an Icicle Spear had I known that I was going to live that, but yeah. So now I'm just going to hit it with one more Ice Shard before I go out, just to get as much damage as I can, because I know this Leafeon's going to be a problem. I don't have a lot on my team that looks like it's going to be able to take care of it, but yeah. So Piloswine is going to dive to the next Leaf Blade. That's all cool. Piloswine, you kind of did your job. Good job, buddy. Anyways, the Weedion's over here eating his leftovers. Fucking lunchtime, he's having a nice little picnic, as now we decide to bring out Creeper. And my only really plan for this thing is to burn it, so it's not going to be able to hit too hard with its Leaf Blades, and plus I'll also be getting that continual damage with the burn. So he hits me with a Toxic. Creeper is going to have to just take that. Honestly, it's overall not that big of a deal because of the fact that I do have Pain Split, so if he brings in stuff that has higher HP, I'm going to be able to get some HP back and just kind of stall out and stuff. At this point in the match, Creeper, I would like to save it for his Barbaracle to get a Will-O-Wisp on that thing, because the Barbaracle from the team preview scared me quite a bit, but yeah, so Creeper's going to be taking some poison damage, as this Weedion's going to be taking some burn damage, and we're just both some hurting guys over here. As I now decide to switch out, I want to preserve that thing's HP for later, so I now decide to switch into Triangle. I know for a fact that I'll be able to take physical attacks easily from this thing, as he goes for a Leaf Blade. Burn damage is not going to do a whole lot. Triangle, look at that, taking hits. You've never seen an Electrode take a Leaf Blade like that before. But I don't have a whole lot that can hurt this thing, honestly. I have Hidden Power Grass. I really should be running Hidden Power Ice, but as you'll see in this match, it actually comes in handy having the Hidden Power Grass. I like it for a lot of stuff that's weak to grass. I mean, obviously like Quagsires and stuff in NU, but anyways, he goes for the Protect just to kind of scout out what I'm going to want to do. He sees the Hidden Power, and he probably expects it to be Ice, so he's probably like, well, shit, he's got me with this thing. But I go for the Hidden Power Grass, and as you'll see, obviously it's not going to do a whole lot, but it does, you know, a nice little chunk, enough to whittle this thing down, as he's going to go for a Wish. And here was the point in the match where I was like, well, I'm fucked. I cannot touch this Leafeon. I really wish I had Hidden Power Ice. Overall, Triangle's looking pretty screwed over here. I was really wishing that he was not going to be one of the Wish. I was wishing that he was not going to be a Wish Leafeon. But anyways, now I'm going to switch out, realizing that him staying in and Hidden Power Grassing is not going to do the trick. I expect him to go for the Protect, so I actually switch into Masquerade, maybe to get a nice little Air Slash off on this thing, but he actually just goes for the attack and kills off Pinhead with 1 HP. So that's, you know, that's a freaking bummer. Pinhead Larry, you didn't do a damn thing this match, which is kind of a bummer, but whatever. He gets his Wish now, and he's like back to full health after the leftovers and the burn damage. He's still looking pretty damn healthy, and I was like, well, at least I have a free switch now. I can come in on something freely, and let's see what happens here. So I decide to switch into Joint. I'm like, okay, Joint, now's your time to shine, buddy. Let's get some nice damage off on this thing. I know Leafeons tend to be pretty damn bulky, but let's see how much a Facade does. So a Guts Boosted Facade does a actually dick load of damage right there. I was actually kind of surprised at that damage. Joint coming in handy, gets a critical hit on me, which is going to kill me, but overall not that big of a deal. Raticate's going to go down, but he did a good job, because now this Leafeon's at the point where I feel pretty comfortable in being able to revenge kill it. Finally, this Leafeon has just been a damn problem, let me tell you. So I bring out Triangle. I really want to lock myself into Hidden Power Grass. Like I forgot to mention earlier, I am Choice Specs. Generally, I like to run Specs Electrode. So I go for the Hidden Power Grass. I know that if he does Wish now, it would be kind of a dilemma. But he is burned, so he actually wouldn't have been able to Protect anyways. So he hits me with a Leaf Blade. He gets a critical hit, but Triangle is able to live that barely. And I was like, holy shit, thank God. So I locked myself into Hidden Power Grass on purpose because of the fact that he has that Barbaracle. It's going to be perfect. I know I'm going to be able to outspeed it. And yeah, so he brings out Jim now. The Leafeon's freaking dead. Like, great job, Electrode. We finally did it. As I'm going to go for a nice little Specs Hidden Power Grass on this fucking facepalm thing. And it is Focus Sashed, which is kind of a bummer. But honestly, I know for a fact that I do have the Aftermath. So he's gonna go ahead and Shell Smash, which ordinarily would be pretty scary. At this point, if I didn't have Aftermath, I probably would lose this match here. But I am pretty confident in the fact that obviously this thing's gonna die as soon as it hits me. So he's gonna go for the Razor Shell. Hits Electrode in the smiling face, and I'm smiling because I know that I have Aftermath and you are dead. So you shouldn't have touched Electrode, buddy. That's gonna cost you. So luckily the Aftermath comes through, the Barbarical dies, and that is a huge threat out of the way. So now at this point in the match, all I have left is Creeper, all he has left is his Stunfisk, and we are going to duke it out. We're both at about the same amount of HP, actually almost exactly the same amount of HP except for I'm poisoned. So it looks like I have the deficit, but I go for the Earthquake, and I'm hoping that this is going to kill. I'm like, please kill, but he lives it, and he is able to get a Thunderbolt off, and I'm like, alright, this isn't going to kill unless he gets a critical hit. He gets a critical hit, but I live it with 9 HP. Are you fucking kidding me? And after the leftovers, I am going to be able to live this next poison damage, and I can finish off this Stunfisk with one more Earthquake. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, was the most intense match. Like, honestly, one of the better matches I've ever had. The Dust Nova came through right there. Stunfisk is going to die that Earthquake, and that was a really good match. PU is really fun. Good game, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.